As many of you know, in the book of James it says faith without works is dead. Now you might say, my faith is alive, but is it fully vibrant? Is it sick, in need of healing, or does it actually need raising from the dead? In Luke 17, we saw that the apostles asked Jesus to increase their faith. And I don't know about you, but there have been many times where I have faced circumstances and situations where I feel that my faith really is very weak and is so small that I need God to increase it. And rather than increase it, Jesus just gave an example of the fact that all you need was faith the size of the mustard seed, so small, and yet you would speak to a mulberry tree and say, this is what I want you to do, and it would obey it. And whereby the apostles were focusing on the quantity of their faith, Jesus' focus and emphasis was on the quality of their faith. Yeah? And therefore, it's important for us to understand that it's not about how much faith you have, it's what's the quality and the state of the faith that you have. And then to further elaborate on that, Jesus then spoke about faith as being a servant. And he was saying that a servant's function is to carry out the commands of its master. And therefore, for us, our responsibility is to command our faith, put our faith to work, tell it what you want it to do. And Jesus says that it will obey you. And we see a great illustrated example of that in Matthew chapter 8, where we see the account of the faith of the centurion. Now, to understand that, we need to understand the fact that he was not a Jew. He was not in a covenant relationship with God. There was no reason why he had any right to expect God to do anything for him. And yet he came to Jesus to ask for healing for his servant. And Jesus' heart was to immediately come and heal the servant. And that for me is a wonderful illustration of the heart of God and his heart of compassion to heal whether you know God or not. And Jesus was willing to come to his house, and the centurion said, no, just speak the word. I recognize that you have authority. I am under authority and I have people under me. And when I speak, I expect it to be carried out. And he understood the principle of faith that Jesus was speaking to his apostles about. And Jesus was amazed about it, because here is a person who didn't have any religious background, understanding a spiritual principle of how faith works. He understood that as a servant, I am expected to carry out my master's instructions, and with people who serve me, I expect them to carry out my instructions. And when you command your servant faith to do what you want it to do, it will obey you. So my question is your servant faith alive and vibrant and fully employed? Or is it perhaps sick and in need of health to stand up and rise up? If so, speak to it. Because Jesus said to the centurion, go, and it shall be as you have believed. The servant of the centurion was healed, and that was determined by the centurion's faith. Be encouraged. In Hebrews 11:6, it says, without faith it's impossible to please God, but those who come to him must believe that he is a good God, and he will reward those that diligently seek him, which is you. So be encouraged, shake up your faith, take it to another level. Until next time.